The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, has written a letter to President Ruto in order for him to resign as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. This is the letter that Rigathi had to write for President William Samoei Ruto.
And 5 years before, they were all of them behind Uhuru Kenyatta. They voted twice in 2 months for him.
Yeah.
And right now, the people of the mountain have clearly made their voice heard. They want to rally behind Gachagua, not anyone else. If, let's say, Waiguru is picked as the next deputy president, it doesn't mean that because she is from the mountain, people will rally behind her. No, it doesn't work like that in the mountain. The power in the mountain has two aspects. There is the kingship aspect and there is the leadership aspect. And in terms of massive approval of the people, Rigathi Gachagua has more power than any other person. Because remember, he was elected by 3 million people, over 3 million people from the mountain. These are individual voters who saw him fit to be deputy president. And by just picking Waiguru, it does not replace him because it is not the will of those people. Maybe if Waiguru was elected in 2022, it will have been a different story. Same for Kithure Kindiki, same for everyone who is now defending the president. Yeah, clearly they are just in that scheme so that they can try and divide the mountain. They have to have their people, they appoint people, but clearly it's the Kimani Ichung'was are being used. They are being paid to do everything they are doing.
Yeah. As you are finishing, what next for Rigathi Gachagua if he loses this impeachment motion? How is this guy going to do the next politics?
In the unlikely circumstance that he gets impeached, because it is really a long process, Rigathi Gachagua will lead his people to revolt against this government.
Will you be able? Because you know that Rigathi Gachagua has only say in Mount Kenya. Only in Mount Kenya. But this impeachment motion has made him to be a beast in the whole of Kenya. Everyone now talks about Rigathi Gachagua. What next for him?
Rigathi Gachagua is not only a beast in Mount Kenya.
Remember, but he always talks about Mount Kenya. He was called tribal.
Remember, what he has been advocating for and these issues of farmers do not only exist in Mount Kenya, they're also in Rift Valley. Yeah. And he has been advocating for these issues because it's the primary role that the president gave him. And he has made a lot of friends. You saw him yesterday say that whenever he goes to Rift Valley, he's given some cows. Remember, among the Kalenjins, there exists some kind of divisions between the sub-tribes and everything. And Gachagua could take advantage of that and get some sympathy, mercy votes from the Kalenjin community. It is very possible. Again, people from the Kamba Nation, you've seen him go with Kalonzo and everyone. They have been, now that even the member of parliament for Kibwezi West is being used to try and create division between the Kamba and Kikuyu, they are the same people. It's just that they do not live very close to each other and hawajatangamana sana. And Gachagua is not just popular in Mount Kenya. He can be a formidable force to cause a revolt in this country. He can do it in a number of ways. He must not lead a demonstration or anything. Yeah. He can just make a statement that leaves this country in a mood of anxiety. Yeah. Like yesterday, you saw him expose some of the dealings that are going on within government, some of the partnerships, the shareholding deals that were made. If he makes more revelations of how the government has been operating in the last 2 years, it can create a revolt in this country in that it will inspire people to fight more this government. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua is the foundation of this government. He was elected. Yeah. You break the foundation, you remain with a crack in government. And clearly now, if he goes home, it will be easier to bring this government down than it was before.
What next for us youths?
Back to the streets.
Morara Kebaso arrested. What next for us youths? Does youth have say in Kenya? What is really happening with this government? Why does this government like to harass youths? Like Morara Kebaso is just a young champ in politics. What can you say about that?
You know, what we are seeing, we are clearly letting this country disintegrate into a banana republic. You cannot arrest someone for simply saying that Kufa dereva, kufa makanga. That's the allegations they have put on Morara Kebaso. Clearly, now, what kind of bullshit is this? Like, we are looking at our country burn down to the ashes as we look. And I have been of this idea to the solution of Morara Kebaso and him getting established.
Yeah.
I understand that Morara wants to work by himself. He wants to create his own party and foundation and his following. But remember, in this country, it is going to be very difficult because he has never been in government, first of all. And secondly, he's fighting from outside. He's a weak person. He has enemies as well. People are being used against him. I think the very good solution was this party that you have started. Take in someone like Okia Mtata, who is already in government. He's a senator. And he's prominent in this country and in even beyond. If Morara can partner with people like Okia Mtata, partner with some other people with not very bad names, like in Najimi Wanjigi, just do not pick from the very rot. Just pick some people from outside, from inside, who have been in government before, who can at least guide you through. But when you walk alone, it will be very difficult. They'll just harass you every day and until you give up. And people are excited. Kenyans are excited about things for a very short time.
Yeah.
Kenyans will turn against Morara. They'll criticize him and they'll tell him.
Like what has happened to Kasmuel Makoure.
Kasmuel is a sellout.
How?
Kasmuel has always been a sellout.
There was a time that people were supporting him.
I've never supported Kasmuel. I've known all along that he's a sellout. That guy is a sellout. And just because he has revealed that he's a sellout right now does not mean that he has been honest any other time. He has always been lying to people, trying. And you see, when you want to identify a sellout, just look at what this person is advocating for. My advocacy, if I want this country to change, it doesn't really have to be changed by me. It doesn't have to have me as a president or a leader. I just want to do the right things in whatever position to make this country change. But Kasmuel so that the light now shines more on Morara, more than himself and some other people maybe he was closer to.
Like Tarus.
And clearly, and kina Tarus. Sasa vile ameona Morara is the shining star and he is being acknowledged by people. And clearly because he is working hard to bring civil education to the people.
It's a competition or what is it?
Yeah, now Kasmuel saw that now this one, I cannot be famous on that side. Let me try and be famous on this other side or get some money. That's what he has done. And that's how you can easily identify a sellout. A sellout is not there for self-glorification. And that's why I'm warning Morara. When you make everything all about yourself, it will end badly. If you make it all about a small group of people, it will end badly. Bring people on board. Bring prominent people on board. It doesn't matter who will be the running mate or the presidential candidate in 2027. Don't worry about that. That one, if you're truly geared towards changing the country, do not always bring things about your personal interest first. Put the country first and remove yourself from the all glory.
What can you tell the Kenyans outside there as you are finishing?
Kenyans, I would like to say this. We are watching our country disintegrate into ashes. This is not the country that Dedan Kimathi died for. This is not the country that General Madenge died for. This is not the country that many Mau Mau fighters died for. This is not the country that Kinabisli died for, Rex Masai died for. This is not the country that we thought we wanted even on the 25th of June. This is not the country that has ever been on our mind that this is a dream of a successful nation. And I'd like to urge Kenyans, the impeachment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is one arrow. We have shot one arrow at the enemy and he's bleeding. Now we only have to chop the head and the enemy is done and we create our own prosperous and successful country. And I would like to urge Kenyans not to give up. I know Kenyans now are feeling very demoralized. Kenyans are feeling like they are fighting too hard and nothing is changing. I'd like to encourage them and tell them that revolutions, liberations, and changing the country's story cannot happen in a month, cannot happen in a year. It takes years, it takes decades, it even takes centuries. But as long as you do your part, as long as you make your contribution, if it is making a TikTok video, if it's making a YouTube video, if it's tweeting, if it's exposing a scrupulous bill, if it's exposing a bad deal, if it's exposing a bad leader, just do it wherever you are and however you can. Do not give up on your country. This is our country and we can work on it and it can change if we all want it to change.
As you always say, game over.